Well, good evening, everybody, and hopefully y'all have survived the first wave of this winter storm. Chief Forecaster Derek and Assistant Forecaster Cameron here with y'all again, live for what has turned out to be a prolonged winter weather event. As expected, we did see a lot of sleet and freezing rain, mostly just north of I-40 throughout much of the day. That was expected, and you've seen a lull throughout much of the mid-afternoon hours. We did see a lull in activity. However, that is going to change as we head into the nighttime hours. For our Northwest Arkansas folks, you may see a little bit longer of a lull as the moisture axis is shifted south a little bit. What that means is, in the area highlighted in pink by the Storm Prediction Center, this area is at risk for heavy freezing rain for the next several hours. As a matter of fact, this is straight, and I lost it. This is straight from the Storm Prediction Center. The Storm Prediction Center. Several hours of freezing rain will likely result in travel issues across central and northeast Arkansas. Locally, heavier ice accretion rates up to a quarter inch an hour, and perhaps some sleet will be possible beneath the heaviest bands as it moves across and becomes better established over the next several hours. So the bigger story is over the next several hours. Yes, temperatures are hovering at 30, 31, and 32. Those temperatures are going to fall as precip starts once again. We saw this earlier today where we had heavy sleet, and those temperatures fell about 3 to 4, 5, somewhere upwards of 5 degrees, or so. But as we go throughout the evening, overnight hours, those temperatures will continue to fall down to around 27, 28 overnight tonight.
Right. So as you guys can see down there in southwest Arkansas right now, there's the lightning, by the way, that you can see down there in southwest Arkansas along I-30. That's going to be moving towards the metro within the next, I would say, 20 to 30 minutes. So there's your tablet back, by the way. I was fixing this tablet, by the way. So there's the moisture beginning to move in. This is round number 2. And there's been a lot of people asking about where's the precipitation going to be? Is it already over, etc.? Precipitation will end for you guys briefly, okay? This is going to be broken up in multiple rounds. It's not going to be an entire duration out winter weather threat. This is going to be a broken down, round by round winter weather event for us here in Arkansas. And even in some cases now, you can call this an ice storm. But you can see what's going on here. So you got some thunderstorms down here in southern Arkansas. This is moving east-northeast at about 30 to 40 miles per hour here. There's been reports of hail. There's been reports of lightning. Heavy freezing rain down here in southwestern Arkansas. This is moving due northeast towards the metro and towards I-40, folks. So don't travel. There's been a ton of reports coming into the Weather Center about travel issues, travel wrecks, etc., multi-car pileups. Folks, if you do not have to travel, do not travel. The governor has said it personally. If you do not have to get out, folks, do not get out. I promise you, the roads are a nightmare right now. Yep. Go ahead, Derek.
Now, the biggest thing about this is going to expand in coverage over time. This axis of moisture stretches all the way down into Texas and Louisiana and on down into Mexico. Our second low is our first low is now moved away, and that took the first round of precip with it. Our second low is currently right now along the Gulf Coast. As that starts to move away, it's going to move northeast, and what that's going to do is that is going to shift the axis of heavier precip, what we call a deformation band, up over the I-30, 67, 167 corridors, basically from Texarkana, just north of Texarkana, up to Memphis and Little Rock, Mena, Conway, Russellville, up to Jonesboro. I swear we have said Jonesboro's name a lot in the last several months, but basically that area is going to see the greatest potential for icing as we head throughout the next 12 to 18 hours. Yep. Unfortunately, I have some bad news for everybody. This is just getting started. This initial wave that came through this morning and this afternoon was only the start of this prolonged winter weather event. The heaviest impacts are going to be felt starting now through overnight and through the day on Thursday.
Yep, exactly. So as you can see, we've kind of overlaid a lot of things on this map here. So you're seeing basically this this pink area that you're seeing highlighted from northeast Arkansas to central down into southwestern Arkansas. This is the area Storm Prediction Center is concerned about. And here's the thing. We're talking about Storm Prediction Center in the middle of a winter storm. Okay? This is why we're saying that this freezing rain potential is there. They're talking about heavy amount of freezing rain across this area here that you see highlighted in the pink. That goes from Jonesboro to the metro down to just to the north of Texarkana. So it's I-30, the I-40 corridor up into Interstate 55 up there in northeastern Arkansas as well. So as so before, folks, if you do not have to get out, do not get out at all. Southern Arkansas, it's going to be a wait and see down there. You're kind of fighting the 32-degree line as we've been talking about down there in southern Arkansas. But you go further to the north, central, northeastern Arkansas, and the northern Arkansas. This is where you're going to see the potential of seeing freezing rain and sleet throughout the overnight hours and into the day on Thursday here. Go
and
ahead.
For our folks in South Arkansas, if you remember last night's live stream, we mentioned this possibility. Temperatures could come in colder than expected across South Arkansas. Camden has been stuck at 33 all day. Texarkana 32 to 33. El Dorado at 35. Lake Village has been the warmest spot in the state. Are you ready? 36. This is a situation where we said you were going to be in the 30s and cold rain. Unfortunately, our expectation has become a reality that the colder air would be further south than what was anticipated.
Definitely.
And what was originally on the forecast, which is why we never wavered from our thoughts in this coming a little bit further south. Again, we're not expecting an ice storm in South Arkansas. Don't get us wrong. Would not be shocked to see a glaze here or there, especially from areas from, say, Sevier County over towards really Miller, Lafayette, Union counties, maybe. I think our folks in southeast Arkansas, Drew County and Deshay, Chico, and Ashley County, I think y'all will be okay from this event.
Yeah, you'll see thunderstorms down there. Definitely. But as Derek said before, you guys should be good to go here. But take a look at this, Derek, by the way. You see those heavier cores down there in southeastern Arkansas. This is thunderstorm activity, folks. This is how serious this is getting across the area. This is thunderstorm activity that you're seeing across southern Arkansas. The radar is not lying to you at all. This is thunderstorm activity across the board of southern Arkansas, and all that precipitation is moving due northeast. Okay, so this is why we're having the heavy freezing rain potential here, because you're dealing with a thunderstorm with temperatures that are below freezing, and in some cases well below freezing across the area here. So this is what we got at this point.
We get a lot of questions about the freezing line moving north overnight. That is not going to be the case.
No,
as we mentioned with this, over last night. Remember what I said last night
let's pull up something.
The warm air aloft is coming up and over the Arctic air. Arctic air tends to be a lot stronger than what models have it. So, again, models busted completely on temperatures by about 8 to 10, upwards of 15 degrees with this event. So, again, the warmer is coming up and over.
Yep.
You have northeast surface winds. What that's going to do is keep that cold air funneling in throughout the duration of this event. Your temperature, max temperatures maybe 32, maybe 33, where winter precip is falling. North Arkansas, you will not see freezing until probably Friday afternoon. You will stay in the 20s throughout the duration of this event. As a matter of fact, in Central Arkansas, West Arkansas, Eastern, if we drop down into the 20s, which I fully expect it to occur, I don't see us getting back to that freezing mark until Friday morning or early afternoon, because as we head into tomorrow night and the skies start to clear out behind all this, temperatures will fall rapidly into the teens and 20s overnight.
Definitely.
And a lot of people are concerned, Cameron, about the split, saying it might not be as bad here in the metro because it's splitting. It's not splitting, it's filling in.
Definitely, folks. So, as I said before, this is one of those events, and me and Derek were talking about this before, that if you don't see ice out of this event, there's no reason you should be upset. None. There should be no reason that you should be upset if you don't see ice with this event. Freezing rain is something that you do not want to deal with. Okay, you do not want to deal with freezing rain with this event. You just don't want it. Okay, I always say all the time whenever we're dealing with ice events, you either want a cold rain, you want sleet or snow, or you want nothing at all. You don't want freezing rain at all. Okay. This is the worst case scenario that you're seeing here, and we're going to repeat what we've been saying. This is broken up in different rounds. This is not a one-time thing and that's it, okay? This is going to be in multiple rounds. This area that you see highlighted in pink, from northeast Arkansas to central and to southwest Arkansas, that is the area of target. That's the area that's going to see the freezing rain potential throughout the overnight hours, and it could be heavy freezing rain in some places here. Thunder, lightning could all be possible as well here. I know it's a rare phenomenon here in Arkansas to see that, but it's not uncommon. It is very not uncommon, especially when an event like this. So keep that in mind, folks, okay? If you don't see freezing rain, there's no reason to be upset. There's absolutely no reason to be upset if you don't see freezing rain out of this. Consider yourself blessed if that's the case, because freezing rain can bring down power lines, it can bring down tree limbs, cause really, really bad road issues, as you've been seeing all day, wrecks on the Interstate 40, Interstate 30 as well. It's been a chaotic day for us here in Arkansas, so just kind of keep that in mind, all right? And we're going to be on top of it all night long. We're going to be on top of this, folks, but I am very worried. Take a look down here in southern Arkansas. Look at all this precipitation building. I don't see a dry slot developing. As a matter of fact, I'm seeing precipitation really taking off across southern Arkansas here.
And as we go into the overnight hours, what's going to happen is it's what we call the LLJ. It's the low level jet. This is what we talk about for severe weather that increases thunderstorm potential. Key word there, thunderstorm potential. We're going to have a LLJ overlapping all of this. Normally we would look at that for severe weather, but since we're talking winter weather this time around, well, what that's going to do is increase our moisture rates, increase the overall coverage of moisture, therefore increasing the threat of freezing rain. Unfortunately, your temperatures aloft are very, very warm this go around. This morning we got blessed that warm nose was a little bit less than expected, so many areas saw heavy sleet. This evening and overnight, that sleet and freezing rain, except for northwest Arkansas, will be mostly freezing rain this go around with some sleet mixed in, because your aloft temps are much warmer than what we saw with the first round. Again, that's why the forecast is there. With thunderstorms, we could see temperatures, or we could see rainfall rates in excess of a 1/4 inch an hour.
This is basically the product I've pulled up here. So the top number that you're looking at is your surface temperature. The bottom number you're looking at is your aloft temperature right now, your 850. So this is why freezing rain is such a big concern. Ignore that middle number, by the way, because that's just a radar. But basically, this is why we're so concerned about that potential here, folks. This is why we're saying you need to watch out for that freezing rain potential, because look at there. You're at 29, 30 degrees, but look at your aloft temperature. 40. You're at 43, okay? You go down in southern Arkansas, you're near 50 degrees. That is a very, very warm nose, very, very strong warm nose overhead, okay? So this is what we're talking about, folks, okay? This is why you're seeing freezing rain and not snow in this area. Now everybody's wanting snow, but this event is going to be ice. It's going to be straight ice. You're not going to see snow on this. This is purely freezing rain. This is our first widespread freezing rain event here in Arkansas, and unfortunately, this is what we have. Okay, so that's the reason why we're kind of worried about the freezing rain potential with this. I wanted to kind of show everybody that. And back out here, and you can see up here in northwest Arkansas, this dark line that you're seeing, that's your 850 freezing line. That's the line that separates ice from snow, and you can see where it is. It's not even in Arkansas. It's well to the northwest of here. So that means everything here is shallow cold air, and that's where you're getting the potential of seeing freezing rain across much of the area here. Go ahead.
All right. So basically, what does this mean in terms of the overnight hours? Basically, what this means is we're going to be talking about ice accumulation on trees and power lines, where temperatures are 31 and 32. The roads, to an extent. Now, here's the thing: it's getting dark, so that ice will likely be a little bit more factor on roads than we have seen through much of the day.
Black ice.
Now,
big time black ice.
Now, that being said, though, trees and power lines will be affected immediately. Heavy freezing rain will lead to fast accumulations on trees and power lines. You add a thunderstorm to the mix, while your rates increase even further.
Yep.
So you could get a quarter inch of ice in one storm, and therefore that's going to bring those trees and power lines down a little bit more, sagging a little bit more. Each round of rain is going to have the potential to add to the ice accretion on your trees and your power lines. And what that means is that the threat is there that we could see an increase in power outages over the next several hours. We've not seen many throughout the day, thanks to sleet falling throughout much of the day. That changes overnight. Again, a lot of people have compared this to the 09 and 2000 ice storm events. I don't expect anything in that magnitude. However, if you get the freezing rain rates that the storm prediction center is talking about, we could get close.
Yeah,
you know,
again, that
was an inch and a half, 2 inches of ice. I don't see that. I do see widespread areas of 3/4 to an inch, possible. As a matter of fact, the National Weather Service in Little Rock actually increased accumulations for the winter storm warning areas. And let's go and pull up that's going and pull up our watches and warnings.
Okay.
The wording in the winter storm warning is 1/4 to 1/2 an inch, with areas 3/4 up to an inch of ice. And what that means is that in the winter storm warning areas, we could see not only up to 3/4 to an inch of ice, but the wording also includes up to an inch of sleet and snow. Now that would be mostly for northern Arkansas. That would not include for those of us here in Central. Central will be mostly ice, straight ice, straight freezing rain. We could see some sleet mixed in, but the biggest concern here, areas in pink, we'll see 1/4, 1/2, up to 3/4, maybe even areas up to an inch of ice, especially north and east of the metro. 1/4 to 1/2 an inch here in the metro. Isolated areas up to 3/4, especially across parts of the western parts of the area. North Arkansas, yours is still more to come. Northwest Arkansas, I think you will still see mostly sleet and snow. Mostly sleet, maybe a little bit of snow up there, but River Valley down into the Washita's, we will see that significant area of icing as well. Now, for our folks in Southwest Arkansas, you're under a winter weather advisory for up to a 1/4 inch of ice. A quarter inch of ice can still bring down trees and power lines under the right condition, but the threat is much more isolated compared to those that are in a winter storm warning. But I would not be shocked if temperatures continue to trend colder if Shreveport does not extend its a little bit further south, also brings a winter storm warning into the area as well. Yep. It's a wait and see, because the thing is, our temperatures in southern Arkansas are hovering so close to freezing, the impacts are less than where they are further north.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is one cool feature about this thing. We can take a look at that real quickly. So basically what I've done is I've overlaid the current watches and warnings, and there's your 32-degree line. This is the prime reason why you guys are not seeing the winter weather advisories down in the far southern road counties at this point, because your freezing line, let's draw this out real quick, goes from basically right through here, okay? There's your freezing line right in there. So the reason why you guys are not under the winter weather advisory down there is because of the fact that your temperatures are hovering around that 32-degree line, which is not favorable for either accumulation or travel impacts. Folks, we tell you this all the time. Whenever you're dealing with winter weather, just because you're not under a winter storm warning does not mean you won't see anything. It doesn't mean that you're not going to see the big impacts or anything like that. You got to pay attention to those winter weather advisories as well, because those advisories are meant for travel and they're meant for accumulations as well. 1/4 of an inch of ice can be more chaotic than it lets on. Okay, when you're dealing with ice, the lower amounts mean bigger impacts whenever you're dealing with the ice situation. Okay, snow is a different story, but when you're talking 1/2 an inch, I had somebody ask earlier that 1/2 an inch of ice didn't seem like a lot of ice. That is a lot of ice. 1/2 an inch of ice can bring down power lines, it can bring down tree limbs, and it can cause chaotic road issues. Okay, so keep that in mind, folks. Okay, let me go ahead and take this off so you guys can see the winter weather advisory a little bit quicker, but I want to kind of show that, because that's the reason why the southern road counties out here is not under anything. It's because of the fact that your freezing line is kind of struggling down there. But I wouldn't be shocked if, like Washita County down here, maybe some counties down here in Southwest Arkansas, depending on temperatures, may get put under the winter weather advisory before this is all said and done here. Go ahead.
And again, again,
and let's talk about Northern Arkansas as well. We get
road impacts.
Yeah.
From 31 to 32, we don't see as many impacts. Bridges and overpasses are already bad. I'm getting reports from all over the state.
It's bad.
Bridges and overpasses are really, really bad right now, especially in central into southwest Arkansas. So once again, but here we go. From 31 and down, especially 30 and down, roads start to get really, really bad. Well, once we go below 26, all bets are off. Northern Arkansas is in the teens and 20s right now. Our roads are horrible already. Sleet, ice have pretty much affected most of the roads up there in Northern Arkansas. Central, so far we have been good. We do have ice patches, but we've not seen as much ice as we have across parts of northern Arkansas. But as we go into the overnight hours, conditions are expected to go downhill across much of the rest of the winter storm warning area that has not seen as much precip throughout the day.
Yep. So everybody's asking about Friday morning. I'm going to tell you right now, Friday morning travel is going to be chaotic. It's going to be a nightmare. There's going to be a lot of folks, and I'm worried about this. There's a lot of folks that are going to be trying to get on the roads first thing Friday morning. I understand Friday's a very busy traffic day. I understand you got to get to wherever you got to go on Friday. But you got to realize something here. We're dealing with ice with this setup. And you're going to have the freezing conditions across the area for much of the day tomorrow and into tomorrow night and the first part of your Friday morning. By Friday evening, you should be good to go. Okay? Friday evening, and that's still debatable right now. We'll have to wait and see how the roads are and stuff like that. But that we're getting a lot of questions about Friday. A ton of questions about Friday. Right now, Friday morning, plan for delays. Plan for some big time delays Friday morning because of the fact that you got freezing temperatures Friday morning, and then you have the roads that may not be recovered across the area as we get towards that Friday morning time frame. I was worrying about that comment, by the way, Derek. I thought it was just towards me. But basically, that's it for Friday morning. Okay, so just. If you gotta travel, folks, my best advice to you is to be extremely, extremely careful. We've had saddening reports today of cars driving into ditches, multi-car pileups, etc. It has been a chaotic day here in Arkansas. Okay, no plan, no work is worth you guys going out and getting into a car wreck. It's not worth it, folks. I promise you, it's not worth it. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Stay home. Save lives, please, okay? Please stay home. This is one event that you want to stay home for. I promise you it's okay. I promise you it's going to be okay to stay home for, but you got to stay home, okay? It's been a very, very saddening and a very, very chaotic day for us here in Arkansas. You got to stay home with this event, okay? Go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, basically, I see a lot of people asking about travel. You know, how's travel going to be, like Cameron just mentioned. It's not going to be good. Let's pull up RDOT right now.
Already working on it.
Because again, this is a very good indication of really how our roads are going to be over the next several hours. And again, folks, this is a 36-hour winter storm warning. We've not had one of these since last year. Last year, when we had a 48-hour winter storm warning. The winter storm warning started at 6 a.m. this morning. And it goes till 6 p.m. tomorrow night. We still have over 24 hours. Almost about 24 hours of a winter storm warning to go. And again, just because you don't have precip right now does not mean you are done. Remember, we said this time and time again, it's going to be waves and waves and waves and waves.
Yep, exactly. So, as I said before, this is what you're looking at in terms of the roads right now here, guys. Northwest Arkansas, a wreck. Central Arkansas, mess here in Central Arkansas. Northeastern Arkansas. Folks, you do not need to travel at all, okay? No plan, no job is worth you guys getting out into a car wreck, okay? So, the localized roads as well. Look at the metro here. Look at Conway. The roads are a mess right now, folks, okay? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of talk to you guys about Friday because there's a lot of questions about Friday. I'm going to show you guys why we're saying that it's not going to be worth trying to travel on Friday here. So, keep in mind, guidance today has not been our best friend at all in terms of temperatures. Temperatures are about 5 degrees colder than what guidance has been showing here. So let's take a look at that real quickly here. So this is the NAM. It's trying to do its best to get above freezing. I don't think it's going to do it tomorrow. I really don't think it's going to do it. But here's my problem, okay? That is tomorrow night and early Thursday morning. Okay, not early Thursday morning, early Friday morning. This is why I'm saying travel Friday is not going to be advised at all
until at
least midday. Okay, temperatures in the teens, in the 20s first thing Friday morning. Okay, if you have to get out Friday morning, if it's that important, you gotta be very careful Friday morning, because temperatures are going to be well below freezing, and all your roads that have all that either sleet or freezing rain on it is going to refreeze tomorrow night. Okay. Now, as Derek said before, throughout the day on Friday, you may start to recover here. Now, we saw this with the last event. If you get a lot of sleet accumulation, this is not going to do it.
Yep.
This is going to be it's going to take a long time to get rid of that sleet. Freezing rain is a little bit of a different story. Sleet, it's going to last. Yep. So if sleet's on the roadways, it's going to last for a good while. Okay. And then look what happens by the time we get towards Friday night once again. We're dropping right back below freezing. So keep that in mind. Okay. If you have to get out, if it's that important, be very careful on the roadways, guys. Be safe out there. But if at all costs, try to stay home.
And I see a lot of people starting to ask also about the weekend event. We're going to talk about the weekend event when we get through this winter storm. So sometime tomorrow night, we're going to start talking about it. It's not going to be near the event this one is going to be. But I would not be shocked to see a mix of freezing rain, sleet, and snow again Saturday afternoon and night, and then early and then early on Sunday morning with that event. But for the most part, though, right now, we're not going to worry about it. It does not look near the event that this one is going to be. Again, we're talking basically an ice storm for much of the state.
Yeah,
and
that's basically the best way to put it.
And basically, that's what we are talking about. We are not talking about a snow event with the setup. And we mentioned this time and time again. I know I keep talking about this, but back in November when we came out with our winter weather outlook, we said February would be the date where we could see all types of different winter weather events, and that's exactly what we are seeing. You know, last year we saw snowstorms. This time we are seeing ice storms and sleet storms, and very common in February to get a mix of everything. Again, nothing we haven't been through in the past, but again, and we will get through it as always.
Yep. That's why we're here, folks. That's why we're going to keep you guys updated, okay? So we're going to have full future cast stuff here in just a bit, but kind of want to address some comments, because there's a lot of people asking about travel for tomorrow and on Friday here. Tomorrow, don't plan on it. Just don't do it. Tomorrow's going to be the brunt of this what's called the ice storm here in Arkansas, okay? If you necessarily have to get out tomorrow, be very careful, okay? Have an emergency plan in your car as well, just to be on the safe side. Because, as I said before, RDOT, there's been a lot of reports of wrecks here. And I don't even want to pull up the incident report here, but I'm going to do it for you guys so you guys can see what we're talking about here, okay? So, this is the incident report. Look at this long list right here. Look at that list right there. Okay, those are all the accidents here. And this has been updated, by the way. So, some of these accidents have already been taken care of. But Interstate 40, Highway 67, Interstate 40 again, Interstate 40, Interstate 40, Interstate 49. Folks, you gotta stay off the interstates. Please, we're literally begging you guys to stay off the interstates, okay? This is where the majority of your wrecks are coming from. So we're gonna try to map all of the incidents real quick so we can kind of give you guys this. And the reason why we're showing you this, because we're trying to instill an environment of seriousness, an environment of telling you guys that you don't need to be out traveling tonight. It just does not need to happen at all. Look across the board, okay? Western Arkansas, along 49 over here, okay? So you got wrecks over here. You've got wrecks on 40, on both sides of 40. You've got wrecks up 67. You got wrecks on 55 over here. Folks, you got to stay off the roadways with this event. Yep. Freezing rain is a completely different beast than dealing with sleet and snow. Freezing rain can cause a lot of issues on roadways, and black ice, especially when it's getting dark, you're going to have to watch that very closely, because all it takes is hitting an ice patch, and that's it, okay?
Yep.
So please be very, very careful if you got to travel tonight here, folks. I know everyone's got plans, soccer game and stuff like that. That soccer game that was from Friday night, you should be okay, but it's going to be a wait and see right now here. It just depends on how fast the roads can recover on Friday here. Go ahead,
again, you know, a lot of people, what we mean by you won't see freezing, meaning you won't get to freezing in northern Arkansas. You're 20 right now, meaning you won't see the freezing mark until sometime Friday afternoon. And even here in central Arkansas, you know, central
Stacey,
West
we're covering
Arkansas,
everybody, by the way.
once again, you know, here's the thing. You are you are not alone here. Again, East Arkansas, West Arkansas. You're going to stay at or below freezing through Friday morning at the earliest. And let's go back to our radar.
Okay.
Again, we cover a whole state. We are covering the whole state. And the thing is, it's to get to we can't cover every single little town in Arkansas. What we can do is give you a broad picture of everything going on across the state. And right now, the biggest impacts are being felt from central into northeast and southwest, east central Arkansas. However, as we hit throughout the overnight hours, that is going to transfer to more of Arkansas.
Yep, exactly. So this is what we're talking about, folks. You got to be very, very careful on the roadways here. And as before, so everyone that's asking about the weather apps, I'm going to talk about those weather apps for just a bit, okay? They're not going to tell you the full story. Those weather apps are computer guidance. Me and Derek both are not a computer. We're human, okay? So those weather apps are meant off of what you see on the computer model guidance. They say if GFS says 35, the weather app's going to say 35. Okay. The reason why we say colder is because we look at everything in just that area.
The human element.
Yeah, the human element. The human element is so much important whenever you're dealing with weather here, guys. But those weather apps are, I know they're reliable for real-time data, which is great, but those long-term is computer-based. We promise you it's computer-based. That's the reason why we're so much different than what a weather app says, because it's computer-based, okay? So there's a human element to what's going on here. So, Morgan, we're going to talk about that after this winter storm. There's just too much information that we're going to have to get here. By the way, look at that right now. That's coming up the metro at this point. Look at northeastern Arkansas here. All that activity, by the way, is moving into the I-40 range here. So
let's zoom out.
Yeah.
Let's just zoom out. Again, it's going to show dark, but let's zoom out and try to see.
I can change that.
Let's go to a regional view here.
Okay. I can change that real fast.
So let's go to a regional view here, and let's pull up the regional radar just to give everybody an idea.
That's gonna show. It's gonna show. No, I promise you. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So again, what we are watching right now is going to be coming out of Texas, and we're waiting on the radar to
kind of catch up.
Yeah.
But you can see it's not going to show a ton down here because your better lift is up here in Arkansas.
Yeah.
But the moisture return is going to be coming right over here. As a matter of fact, let's turn on this because this one's going to show a little bit better visual here. So there's your moisture return coming in. There's your trough, and there's your moisture coming into Arkansas right now. Okay, so this is what we mean, folks. This is the reason why we're saying all that moisture is coming up. So round 1 was here. Okay, there's round 2 right now. Round 3 is going to be back out here towards the west. Okay, there's even another low back out here that we're going to have to watch as we get towards Thursday, late tomorrow, into Thursday here. But there's your main system here, and what it's doing, it's kicking out multiple areas of energy. So that's why you're seeing the precipitation across the board here. And there's the radar loop, by the way. So you can see it, okay? It's like a conveyor belt. One system's gone, then another system shows up, then another system shows up. Okay, so that is what's going on here. That's why you're seeing the breaks in the period, and then you're getting the other route. And those breaks are gonna have to be watched because that's gonna allow the temperatures to fall. You're not gonna have precipitation going through this entire event. You're gonna have to watch those dew points tonight as well, because temperatures are gonna fall and fall quickly across the board here. So there's your system here, your main system, the mama bear out here, and then it's gonna start kicking out multiple areas of low pressures, and that's what's causing the ice here in Arkansas. So if you got to go to work tomorrow, folks, call in. They got a problem with it, send them to us. Just call in, please. It's not worth traveling.
The biggest concern I have is that, we saw it this afternoon with the initial round. We had a gridlock in the metro. All the schools let out at the same time. All the jobs let out the same time. And we had a gridlock. It took some people 2.5, 3 hours just to get out of downtown, and unfortunately, we see that time and time again with this type of event. So the biggest thing is, if you don't have to travel down right now, our emergency workers are swamped. The National Guard has been activated across the state to assist. So that tells you right now, if you don't have to travel, if you are an essential worker, that's a different story. But unless you're an essential worker, stay home at all costs. This is not. Ice storms are totally different than what we dealt with the snowstorm last year, or even the sleet storm at the start of the month. Again, this is nothing new. We have been through it time and time again. Ice storms are common in this state. We've not had one in a while, but they are more common than what you think. Again, so once again, unless you absolutely have to go in, or if you have to go in, take it very slow in the morning.
Yep.
Roads are going to be a lot worse in the morning than what they are right now.
Definitely, folks. And that's the reason why we tell you guys to stay with us here. And I know there's a lot of people, there's a lot of jobs and stuff out there that didn't see this coming. We've been talking about this the last couple of days, but our voice only goes out so far. So that's why we tell you guys so much to share our page, to like our page, stuff like that. It's not because of attention. It's because whenever we have these events and we're the only ones that saying it's going to get that cold, then that's where we can have some issues here. So that's why we tell you guys all the time. We see something that's even colder, we tell you.
Yep.
Okay, we don't hide anything from you guys or anything like that. We tell you guys straightforward. That way you can prepare for it. Okay, so that was the issue today. Like Darius said before, we had gridlock here in Little Rock. It was a chaotic day across the board here, okay? So tomorrow should be a little better because most areas have closed. Most areas have gotten everyone home and stuff like that here. But please, folks, we're literally begging you. If you don't have to go out, like he said, if you're not an essential worker, you don't have any business being on the roads, don't be on the roads. Just stay at home. Watch a movie. It's cold. It's a great time to create some movies, soup, spaghetti, but it's a great time to be at home. Okay, so if you don't need to travel, don't travel at all, folks. We promise you. Okay?
Do we have an updated accumulation map for the rest of this event? I know we had one for the total event. Again, that's not changed. Really, our thinking hasn't changed.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it hadn't changed at all. To be honest with you,
our thinking has not changed for this event. Again, we're expecting a wide area. Once again, our entire map, is still active and is pinned on the top of our page.
Yep.
So once again, a widespread area of a quarter to a half inch up to an inch of ice. Lesser amounts in southwest Arkansas, lesser amounts in northwest Arkansas, where we don't expect to see.
You got some drier issues. That's what I was worried about yesterday. You got some drier issues up here in northern Arkansas. We're gonna have to watch, but the majority of the moisture is across central, eastern, and down into southern Arkansas here. But folks, let me kind of talk about that real quick. And while I have you guys here, we're not skipping anybody. No, nobody in this state gets skipped with us. Okay, we're not just covering a certain area because we want to cover. We cover the entire state of Arkansas. Okay, so keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind. Okay. We're not skipping anybody. Nobody is being skipped. Nobody's, even if it's a big town, small town, this county here or this county there, nobody's getting skipped. Okay? Nobody's being skipped. The reason why you're not seeing Southwest Arkansas right now is because there's nothing going on down there at this point. Okay? All our graphics are county and city related. Okay? You got to know where you live. You got to know where you are. Okay, you got to. Okay, but nobody gets skipped here at Arkansas Winter Watchers. We cover everybody across the board.
Okay, so there's something I want to stress. A lot of people are asking, why does it look like rain? Because it's freezing rain.
Because it's freezing rain.
That's what it is. Freezing rain is rain that freezes on contact. Sleet is ice pellets. This seems to be a common theme with this type of winter weather event. We get these questions a lot, and it's no big deal. It's a very mistaken thing. Freezing rain can freeze when temperatures are below freezing. You can have freezing rain with temperatures in the teens. Everything depends on the aloft temperature. If your loft temperatures are warm, it's going to fall as rain and freeze on contact. That's why freezing rain is the most dangerous of the three precip types because freezing rain accumulates on trees and power lines.
Yep, exactly.
The only other thing that would be at risk of that would be a heavy wet snow, because that also accumulates on trees and power lines, but more so affects power lines than it does trees.
Yep.
But ice, once you go over a quarter inch of ice on trees and power lines, they start sagging. You go over half an inch, they start coming down. Anything over a half an inch ice, which is what we're expecting overnight, brings the risk of power outages to a large area, depending who sees what. And again, temperatures 30, 31, and 32. Your roads are iffy.
Iffy right now.
You go below 30, all bets are off.
Yeah. And I was just gonna say about freezing rain. Here's the thing about freezing rain, folks. It has that hidden danger, like he just mentioned. Freezing rain is the most dangerous one out of the entire three winter precipitation types. Okay, you've got sleet, you've got snow, you've got freezing rain. Whenever there's a winter storm warning, I don't know why that's a stigma here in Arkansas, but when there's a winter storm warning, okay, everybody expects sleet and snow. You can get a winter storm warning with just ice. Okay, so you gotta keep that in mind. Okay, that's a dangerous thing about freezing rain. That's why you have the majority of traffic incidents and stuff freezing rain, because it blindsides you. It looks like just regular rain, but you're not seeing the bigger picture. Bigger picture is when that rain falls, it's freezing on contact. It's making your roads bad. Okay. Okay. All right.
Breaking into the weather center at this time.
Yep.
Winter weather advisory has been extended down into all the way down into the southern portion of the state. This does include,
ignore those two, by the way, because it's going to show up. It's going to show up kind of weird, but yeah.
So this does include Texarkana, El Dorado, and it looks like the National Weather Service in Little Rock has actually extended on their part too now.
Yep.
I'm trying to get a pull. Okay, and there it is. So now we have winter weather advisories now being extended all the way to the southern border. The only parts of the state this does not include now are 6 counties in Arkansas. Ashley, Seco, Drew, DeShay, Phillips, and Lee counties are the only ones not under some type of winter weather alert at this time.
Yeah.
And this winter weather advisory is for, in southwest Arkansas, up to a 10th inch of ice.
Yeah.
For parts of southern Arkansas, let's go to the one that the National Weather Service in Little Rock issued, Bradley County.
Bradley County, okay.
No.
I got you.
Bradley County.
Yeah, that's the one right here. So that was the one, that's a 1/10 of an inch to a 1/4 of an inch right here. That's the 1/10 of an inch to a 1/4 of an inch across the area. So that's mainly it from Little Rock's perspective here, and then the one down here is for a 1/10 of an inch of 1/4 freezing rain down here. So they're added to these winter weather advisories down here in southwestern Arkansas at this point. But that's what we got at this time here. And keep in mind, this is new information, so it's going to take a little bit of time for it to be updated on our graphics wise here. But you can see what's going on here. So the freezing rain totals down here in southwest Arkansas, that same area that we've been talking about, is now under the winter weather advisory for
up to a 1/4 inch of ice.
Yep.
So once again, as we mentioned, I don't think we're going to see nearly a 1/4 inch of ice that far southwest, but a tenth up to 2/10 an inch is greatly possible. As expected, the freezing line is a little bit farther south than what was originally anticipated, and we see this time and time again. Where the cold air comes in sooner, faster than expected. Unfortunately, it didn't come in deeper this time around.
Yeah, so there was one comment that I saw earlier, Brianna, she was talking about that. So I was mentioning something about possible dry slide across northern Arkansas. I was looking at the computer model guidance a little bit earlier on, and I looked at the sounding, and there was a pretty decent dry air layer up there in northern Arkansas here. Now, keep in mind, I think you guys will see precipitation as the night builds, because you're going to get more moisture kind of building in. But I'm going to have to watch the far northern rows of counties, because sometimes with these events, you have so much cold air pulling down into Arkansas that it cuts some people off. Okay, so we're going to have to watch that. I think we'll have moisture return tonight, which should help with that problem. But just right now, for at least a short-term range, most of the precipitation is across central and in eastern Arkansas around. And even in looking at what's going on down here in southwest Arkansas now, you're starting to see freezing rain along I-30. I-30 is fixing to become an ice rink at this point. So please be careful.
We don't put the towns on the map. It is automated. Everybody's wanting to know where West Memphis is and stuff on the map. Again, we have no control over that. That is strictly the software that we use. We don't put the towns on the map. It is automatically updated again. If you look at a map and know where Memphis is, that should give you a general idea.
Yeah.
But
we
again, all this freezing rain is moving northeast into east central Arkansas. And again, this is a light round. This is a light round. This is not the main. This is not the main round. The main round comes in overnight and into the day on Thursday. So again, this is just the start of what is to come.
Exactly. So this is what we were talking about here. So Curtis, that's a great point. So will that dry air slot push the moisture content up, push the moisture content south of it? So this is what I'm saying. Your moisture is coming due southwest. Okay, so let me draw this out so you guys get a better representation.
Southwest to northeast.
Southwest northeast. Okay, so your moisture's coming out of southwest northeast. Okay, my problem up here is that where does the majority of the moisture set up? Okay, because some folks down here in southern Arkansas, you can see down here in southwest. I mean, not southwest, southeast Arkansas. Look what's going on down here. Okay, not everybody's seeing precipitation at this point because where the better moisture access is going to be, that's where you're seeing the constant stream of precipitation.
Let's pull up the SBC.
Yep.
Circle again.
Okay, so
because I mean this gives you a very good indication on where the highest impacts are going to be expected over the next several hours. So once again,
there it is.
This is the area where this is the area the storm pretty center in Norman highlighted for the potential of a 1/4 inch of ice plus an hour rates with the heaviest storms. What does that mean for you? I take this lightly, but those of you in, say, Jefferson County, Arkansas County, and a little bit further east where there's only a winter weather advisory, I would not be shocked to see that winter storm warning brought down another row of counties before all is said and done.
Definitely.
As we head into the morning hours.
Look what's going on
issue
down
those.
here. Yeah.
And moisture is continuing to stream in and build in as we go overnight. Lift is going to increase and keep that moisture trail going, especially as this low comes off the Gulf Coast and starts moving northeast. It is going to set up what we call a deformation band. What that means is that there's going to be an axis of heavy precip that is going to set up somewhere between El Dorado and Memphis, upwards to say Mountain Home and Fort Smith. Somewhere in that area, you're going to have a heavy axis set up, and right now, SBC thinks that axis is going to be right where this is, and that includes southwest, west central, east central, and northeast Arkansas.
Yeah. So I'm just reading that. I think Derek, you talked to me about this earlier. That was a winter storm warning update. So basically, additional ice accumulations between 1/4 to 1/2 an inch. Locally higher amounts now of up to 3/4 to 1 inch of freezing rain.
Yep.
Across the area here. So the only reason why this is not an ice storm warning is because of a little bit of sleet, maybe a little bit of snow accumulations kind of mixing in. It's kind of keeping this from being an ice storm warning. Otherwise, it would have been a full scale winter storm warning across the board here. So just kind of keep that in mind here. Look at what's going on right now. Look at the lightning bolts, by the way. You're going to see that tonight. It is going to be a show across Arkansas tonight with your low-level jet coming in. This is almost like dealing with a severe threat, but instead of it being in the 70s and 80s, it's in the 20s and 30s.
And I'm going to throw this out there. Don't be shocked if somebody has a flash flood warning to go along with a winter storm warning, to go along with the ice storm tonight. Yes.
Especially down here in southeast Arkansas.
Basically, right now, if you live in an area that's under a winter storm warning right now and you're getting thunder and rain, that is freezing rain. And again, this is what we expect overnight and into the day tomorrow. Best case scenario is we get just enough cold air to turn this to a sleet. But I have doubts.
I have serious doubts about that one. And the problem is, and Derek mentioned this earlier with Climo, is that, remember, the first event we had was early February. Okay, so by that point, cold air was still hanging around. We still had a good amount of cold air. It was a perfect time for cold air to be here. Now we're beginning to turn the clock to March. Your warmer air is fighting back even more now as you're getting into March. So the problem is the cold air is doing its absolute hardest to try to make this a sleet event, but it just can't do it. And I'm really, really, really worried that some folks may see straight freezing rain throughout this entire time. We've been going back and forth over the last couple of hours here between sleet, freezing rain, sleet, freezing rain, sleet, freezing rain. That means that there's a battle going on between the cold air and the warm air. Which one's going to win out? Which one's going to win out? Because the cold air is coming in, warm air is coming in at the same time, and they're fighting each other. Which one's going to win the battle? If cold air wins out, sleet If the warmer winds out, you're looking at a major freezing rain event across the area here. So you just have to watch that close. But that's what's going on. And also, a little bit of a lesson here. Yep. Remember what I just said about the colder and the warmer fighting each other? Mm-hmm. That's why you have thunderstorms too. Yep. That is exactly why you're having thunderstorms across the air, because there's a battle going on right now between the cold air and the warm air, and it's causing aloft instability, and that's where you're getting the thunderstorm development. So it's kind of like I said, it's almost similar to like a severe threat, but you're in the 20s and 30s. So that's what's going on at this point here, guys. That's the reason why you're seeing that kind of thrown in the midst here. That's why you're seeing the thunderstorm activity. And thank you guys so much, by the way, about the videos. There's been a lot of great videos about the lightning, the thunder. Yep. It's a rare event, but it happens more often than you guys think it does. So we appreciate you guys for that.
Let's pull up the freezing line again, because a lot of people are confused. They think it's just rain. And, this goes for our folks here in southeast Arkansas right now. Again, our freezing line is south, and I'll tell you
Benjamin, he's made a great point. Yep. If you think it's rain, take your temperatures. That's the best thing we can tell you.
Yeah, if it's 32 or below, it is going to be freezing rain. Unfortunately, and this shows exactly what we were talking about with those northeast winds. Look at the cold air coming down I-30. Look at it going around the southern extent of the Ouachita Mountains. Look at Sevier County, Howard County, and Little River County, how it's still above freezing there. Now look at how it's coming around and down the southern end of the Ouachita Mountains there, and coming down I-30 to areas like, say, Texarkana, El Dorado. Notice how it's coming around the mountains. This is exactly what we were talking about as northeast winds bring those freezing lines down. Now, also notice how we had that break in precip. It warmed up. Now your precip is falling again, and those temperatures are starting to fall again.
Yep.
And that's what we're going to see over the next several hours, is those temperatures will rise a couple degrees, fall a couple degrees, rise a couple degrees, fall a couple degrees. And as long as that dew point stays 4 to 5 below the actual air temperature, that temperature will be able to fall. The cloud cover and precip around it's not going to fall rapidly, but again, once you get below 30, all bets are off.
Yep, and you can see, look at that. So that's the last, by the way, this is the last couple of hours here, so I'm going to pull up the timestamp here, so bear with me for just a bit. But there's the timestamp, by the way. Okay, so we're talking, look at there, that was noon today. Some folks have not touched freezing at all. This is why we were telling you guys yesterday and the day before, where it was the guy that was saying 40s in Little Rock, and I looked at Derek, they looked at me, we were like, I'm gonna borrow one coat. Okay, what you talking about, Willis? So basically, that was what we were looking at here. So that's why we were like, why in the world is this showing 40s with northeast winds and cold and a cloud cover in place? And that's the reason why we're saying some folks have not touched freezing today at all, especially in central Arkansas. This is going to be a very, 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 very weird situation across much of the year, especially across southern Arkansas. Yep. But the problem I have right now is most of these areas here that have been below freezing, they've been below freezing for 12 plus hours.
Yep.
That means your surfaces, that means your exposed surfaces are very, very cold, which means any precipitation that's falling is going to immediately stick just like that. So that's the problem I'm having.
Little Rock never got above freezing today.
No.
I think right now they're sitting at about 32. This is,
the warmest it's been.
And that's the thing, is that, we never saw that freezing mark go up today. Again, Guidance had us 40 degrees today. Guidance had South Arkansas 45 to 50 today. And, just show you we've been in the 30s all day. This is why Guidance never, ever, ever handles Arctic air well. 9 out of 10 times. I've rarely seen an occasion where it does.
Yep.
And as cold air continues pouring southeast, would not be shocked to see some areas in southeast Arkansas get in on the action as well as we head towards the morning hours. I do think this area is a little bit colder, but not cold enough to produce sleet. But again, also for our folks in northeast Arkansas in the boot heel of Missouri, I know a lot of people have been asking about it. How bad do you expect it to be up there? For our areas from, say, Jonesboro northeast, and for our followers in southeastern Missouri and west Tennessee up there, and we even have a couple from in southwestern Kentucky as well. Again, for you up there, we expect the same exact thing. Significant icing is likely up there, but as you get just north of the border, we could be seeing a little bit more sleet than what we're talking about, say, further south, because the air is a little bit more colder up there than what it is here.
Southeast Arkansas, man, right now. Look at there. Yeah. Look at all that precipitation. You got precipitation moving to the metro too, but look at this. This is what I'm worried about right in here. That corridor of heavy freezing rain across Arkansas County, down into south central Arkansas at this point. All of that precipitation moving due northeast. And by the way, there's more precipitation that's starting to build over here in Texarkana area as well. Folks, this is going to be a long, long night for us here in Arkansas. Okay, this is going to be a very, very, very long night for us here. Okay, what are my thoughts about Crittenden County up there, the winter storm warning? Same thing. If you are highlighted in this pink area, okay, if you're highlighting this pink area, you need to be prepared for the potential of freezing rain. Okay, everybody across the board is at least going to see winter weather. Okay, that's a given. No matter where you are, especially if you're in central, northeast, or in northern Arkansas, you're going to see winter weather out of this situation. Okay, this is not going to be a snow event. I promise you, this is not going to be a snow event. Let's talk about go ahead.
You know, a lot of people are asking about models. Here's the problem we have. There's a reason why we've not pulled them up.
Yeah.
Because right now, the local radar you see right now, current guidance does not have that.
At all.
There's a reason why we have not put out models. Normally we would show you the future radar. Well, it's kind of hard to show a future radar when you don't have a future radar to show, because the data is about 4 hours too late with the precip bands. Now, what it does show is where the precip bands are setting up. Yep. What it does show is where expected temperatures are going to be. Yep. What it does not show is radar. Yep. So, here's the thing. The timing map that we put out, we're going to put out, here's the thing. Timing map that we put out this morning is still valid.
It's pinned to the top of the page,
and
so you can't miss it.
The timing right now is this. You're going to have periods of freezing rain.
Thank you, Austin, by the way.
Freezing rain and or sleet throughout the next several hours into the overnight hours into the day on Thursday. This is not going to pull out of here until sometime Thursday afternoon. The biggest threat for the heaviest precip will be now through mid-afternoon. I'm talking 3 or 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon on Thursday. So we have roughly 18 hours of this before it's all said and done.
Okay, so what I'm pulling up, and I'm going to at least attempt to pull up, is what's called the ecotopsia here. So basically what you're looking at here is the ecotopsia. And I'm going to stop right off for just a bit. Austin, you made a great comment. He's on our team, by the way, but he made a great comment to what we're talking about. Look at your ecotops. Okay? Those are how tall these storms are at this point, okay? Mm-hmm. So, as Derek said before, we were talking about this earlier. We saw this, what was it, in western Arkansas and in Oklahoma, where some storms were getting up to that 35,000, 40,000 foot top level here. This is why you're seeing lightning. This is why you're seeing thunder. This is why you're seeing everything else across the board, is because you're seeing these types of thunderstorms being produced with this, okay? So you got to keep that in mind here. And that was a great comment, Austin. Thank you for reminding me about that. This is what we're looking at here, folks. That's the reason why we're seeing the thunderstorm activity, is because those ecotops, basically how tall the storms are getting, is something similar you would see during a severe threat, where they're getting 35,000, 40,000 feet in the air, and that's where you're getting the severe weather threat, the winter weather threat with this.
This is a very good question. It's something we've actually questioned ourselves over the past 24 hours or so. What is the difference between ice storm warning and winter storm warning?
I think I still have that graphic, by the way.
And here's the thing, though. Winter storm warning is for all precip types. Again, freezing rain and or sleet. The only reason why they've gone winter storm warning versus ice storm warning is because we have seen periods of sleet.
Yep.
Normally, you would have an ice storm warning for this type of event, because it's strictly for about. We've had enough sleet mixed in to where winter storm warning. I'm not sure. I've heard rumors that they might be trying to phase out the ice storm warning and stick with strictly ice storm warning. I'm not sure though. On that, I know for certain they're trying to do away with the winter weather advisories, which is another thing that's kind of weird to me, especially for lesser winter weather events. But again, normally you would have an ice storm warning. Ice storm warning is for freezing rain a quarter inch or more. Yep. But winter storm warning covers your freezing rain, your sleet, and or snow. With this event, we're talking freezing rain up to an inch of accumulation, and that's significant accumulation.
Yeah.
Followed by sleet up to an inch. So again, that's because we have both precip types potentially, and it's accounting for the potential of a little bit colder than what than what could be seen.
Yep, exactly, folks. So this is what we've got at this point. And yes, that was the dotted line that you saw earlier, and we're gonna go ahead and turn that back on here for just a bit. But maybe 1 second. Let me go back to it real quick.
As for the power issues right now, the biggest concern about the power outages issues right now is that anywhere within the winter storm warning is it's been a 1/4 inch plus of ice, upwards up to an inch of ice. This is additional on what's already fallen. Additional, not total, additional to what's already fallen. We've had some areas see a 1/2 inch of ice already.
Yep.
1/4 inch to 1/2 inch ice already. We're going to see more as we go throughout the overnight hours and into the day on Thursday. Again, you see more moisture developing, continuing to develop, continuing to develop, and that's going to be the case really over the next several hours.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're talking about, folks. That's the reason why we're saying that freezing rain is going to be down here. So I know everybody's asking about amounts. I'm going to give you guys a broad general area of amounts. Okay, so we're going to pull this up for just a bit. We're going to talk about that. Okay, so this map was made this morning. Okay, and I'm going to stress this to everybody. Do not focus on just the amounts. Focus on the potential impacts. Okay. Yep. This is somewhat similar to kind of dealing with a rain event or whatever, but let's talk about that real quick, okay? This is a freezing rain accumulation here. Now, this is literally perfect. This is literally perfect, and the problem I have right now is most areas have probably seen this already. They've probably already seen this with the first round, and then you're going to have an additional area of precipitation coming in, okay? So the majority of the area, and I'm going to kind of take this, let me see if I can make this a little bigger, but this is on the website and on the page, by the way, okay? Most of the area, we're talking at least 1/4 to 1/2 inch of freezing rain. That just goes for basically almost everybody across the board that's under the winter storm warning, okay? Southern Arkansas, a glaze to 1/10 of an inch of freezing rain.
We probably need to raise that area.
And we're probably going to have to raise that area a little bit too, but like I said before, that's additional. Some areas have already seen amounts of this magnitude already. Okay? So keep that in mind. We're going to have updates. We're going to have everything. But the one thing that we want to stress to you guys is if you're planning on traveling, don't do it. Okay? Even a 1/4 of an inch of freezing rain, which does not sound like a lot. It sounds like a rain or rain shower that doesn't produce a lot, right? A 1/4 of an inch of freezing rain can cause some significant issues on the travel and on power lines, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind, okay? But this is what the area we're looking at in general at northeast Arkansas, and then in southeast Arkansas, we're going to have to bump those totals up a little bit. Keep in mind, this was made at 7 o'clock this morning, okay? This was made at 7 a.m. this morning. So most areas have already seen this for today. They've already seen the majority of this. We're going to have to go through and make another one for the additional precipitation right now, and everybody's getting reports of thunder and lightning in Conway at this point. That's going to be our ongoing thing tonight. It is going to be a show across Arkansas tonight with the low-level jet kicking in and everything else. It is going to be a show across Arkansas at this point. Brady, if you're wondering about wind, take a look at County. It's up there in northeastern Arkansas. We're talking at least 1/2 inch of freezing rain, probably as high as an inch of freezing rain across the area here, guys. So so forth. We're going over everything right now here, and that's another thing I want to talk to you guys about. I know everybody's kind of wanting a 36-hour long live going over everything. We're not going to sit here like that, folks, okay? We're not going to sit here and do that. We are going to have updates on the page, okay? All the information you need, folks, is going to be on the page. It does not have to be limited to a live stream. We have all the posts on the Facebook page. Everything is easy, it's not confusing, everything else, okay? We're not going to be sitting here on live for this entire event, okay? What we are going to do is we're going to have updates. Those updates are not going to stop at all, okay? And it's going to blow up a lot of people's news feeds, etc., but we're not going to have a live stream that long, okay? It's going to be in frequent periods to keep you guys updated on the constant changes of what's going on with this event, but also pay attention to our posts. Yep. That's what we're going to have at this point.
Honestly, in terms of schools, we don't control them. Everybody asking about Friday. As of right now, I fully expect areas in
there must be something major going on Friday that I'm missing.
Northern Arkansas, parts of Central Arkansas, West Arkansas. I fully expect to see. We're not going to have. I would not be shocked to see schools closed on Friday as well.
Yeah.
Again, it's going to be a wait and see. How much precip do we get overnight? How much precip do we get On Thursday, that's going to be the tall tale sign of what we see in terms of school closings. Another thing that concerns me is the training. Here, I'm seeing training of thunderstorms. And storms stalling out.
There's some hailers down there in southeast Arkansas too. Look at that.
The concern for me is this, that you could see training, and that would actually increase the threat of higher accumulation. You can already start to see the back building across parts of the washtaws, and it's something that I like to call the upslope effect, or the downslope effect. As the moisture is coming up and over the mountains and back down, it's creating lift, and that lift is forming off those mountains as it moves northeast. Very, very similar to what you see in the Rocky Mountains, but to a lower scale. Same thing y'all see in the Appalachian Mountains as well, but again, just to a lower scale. Again, we have one of the tallest mountain ranges in between the Appalachians and the Rockies. Therefore, we do get from time to time that type of effect.
Yeah, and thank you for that lesson, by the way, Derek. We were all listening to that. I hope you guys learned a lot from that, because that is the number one thing that we deal with winter weather. That's a great comment here, but we do have a pretty big problem already. We're at 1,500 power outages across the board. So we do have power outages across the board. 1,500 people are out of power at the time. And Energy did send a text out. It's almost similar to the last event. They are not going to come out and take care of your power until this event is done and over with. Okay, they're not going to come out and do it. They're not going to risk their workers to come out and put the power back on. Okay, so this is why we are saying that we're going to have to watch this very closely here. But some folks are going to see extended power outages. Keep that in mind. Okay, this is almost similar to the last event we dealt with earlier on this month, where we were talking about power outages, etc. 1,500 already. And the majority is coming out of Yale County, Pope County, Johnson County, Logan, and Scott County at this point. Okay.
Nobody's
and that's another thing, folks. Please do not call this a bust. This is not a bust. This event's just barely getting started. Okay. If you think it's a bust, then just ignore the weather updates. Okay. It's not going to be a bust. I promise you, it's not. There's winter weather advisories. There's winter storm warnings. This event is just now getting started. Okay, it's not a bust. Where no one has dodged a bullet yet. Once we get past to tomorrow, then we'll talk about who missed out and stuff like that. But this is one event, by the way, that you want to miss out. Yeah. You want a bullet. You want to dodge the bullet, stuff like that. You want to, because you don't want to have to deal with freezing rain at this point. Okay, but folks, this event is just now getting started across the board here. Okay.
Yep.
So, go ahead.
Again, everybody's saying that we need a generator, and I mean, here's the thing: $700, $1,000 generator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eventually, we're going to get there.
We'll get there.
Here's the thing: we do live in an area that really loses power.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about it. Again, if we do lose power, we have a couple of backups around the state that we have.
Yeah,
we have on standby.
Yep.
They're already ready to go in case we need them. We have folks in West Memphis. We got folks in Conway. We got folks in Southwest Arkansas. We got folks in Hot Springs. We are covered around the state to bring you coverage nonstop. If one goes down, the other is ready to go.
Yeah, we're a well-built machine, folks. We are not. We're not gonna. If one goes down, like you said, one goes down, other one goes up. Okay. So, oh boy, now people are like wanting to start a GoFundMe for a generator. Folks, we'll get there. I promise you.
Again, we're not going to keep y'all longer. The biggest story is, and again, as we head throughout the overnight hours, your temperatures will fluctuate. They always do. Again, you're seeing
if I can heart that comment, I would. But
again, your temperatures. This is what you're going to have overnight. Your temperatures, your warm air direction is going to push, and then your cold air direction is going to push back. Which one wins out is going to be the key at this point. 31, 32 degrees, roads are going to be okay.
Yeah, look at your freezing line already down there in Southwest Arkansas.
But what concerns me is we head throughout the overnight hours, your temperatures, because your coldest period of the night is typically going to be from about midnight through about 5 a.m. That's when your temperatures become the coldest. That's when everything is going to be the key to seeing where our temperatures are. Right now, our temperature here at the Weather Center is approaching the freezing mark. At the airport in downtown, it's a little bit, I want to say right at about 32.
Yeah, I got 30. Because here the western half is over here is about 30 degrees. The metro right now is hanging right around that 31 area right now. So we're fighting that 31, 32 degree line here in the metro. But everything that's going on here is freezing rain.
Yep.
There's no question. There's freezing rain here. The problem I have, look at here. Look at where that heavier band is right now. That's right at 32 degrees. This cold air is getting south and quick. Look at this. Look at down here. Southeast Arkansas right now is barely clinging on to 35, 36. Remember, we were looking at guidance earlier. They had 60s down there in Southeast Arkansas. This is why we were saying that the cold air was going to get here a lot quicker and it was going to filter down further south. Okay? That is a almost 20 to 30 degrees. It's been a while since I've seen computer model guidance bust this bad. It's been a very, very long while that I've seen computer model guidance bust this bad with temperatures. But this is a sole reason why you go with experience versus guidance.
Yep.
A big reason every time you go with experience, because that is about I would say if I could pull the model difference between model and temperatures right now, it would be a pretty significant difference. We're talking probably 15, 20 degree difference between what models had and what's going on in real time right now here. But that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy across the board here. But the problem is we've got more precipitation developing in southwest Arkansas.
Yep. And again, as we go into the overnight hours, this is going to only increase. And for our Skywarn spotters tuning in as well, I've seen some from around Jonesboro, and then of course also in southwest Arkansas. Send us your reports throughout the night and the day on Thursday. That will really help to get a total assessment of what we are looking at in terms of the overall picture of the weather event going on. And again, we saw sleet this morning.
Yep.
We saw sleet this afternoon. We're transitioning to freezing rain. This is a backwards event.
Look at that freezing line down there, man.
Normally, it's the other way around. Normally, we go from freezing rain to sleet to snow. This time, we're going from sleet to freezing rain. Unfortunately, that's just how weather works sometimes. Now, here's the thing. You could get a thunderstorm that gets up in the upper atmosphere enough and drops down enough sleet that kind of counteracts the icing a little bit. But my concern is that we're going to see mostly sleet, or mostly freezing rain out of this event. Wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to see a hailstone or two.
We've already had that in western Arkansas earlier on.
So
yeah, we've already established that. It's been done, set in stone. We've had that earlier. That was over there in Sebastian and Lee Ford counties over there earlier. They had a special weather statement for penny-sized hail here. So that's another possibility too. I know it's kind of weird dealing with severe weather with a winter weather setup, but it's not out of the realm of the possibility. This is a very classic ice storm event for us here in Arkansas. This is where you're seeing the hail potential with this, and there's a big difference, by the way, between hail and sleet.
Yep.
Big difference. You will notice it if it's hail, I promise you. So, Tony, thank you for that comment. That's where you can see the outages across the board. Thank y'all so much. We're getting a lot of praise. Our lights have skyrocketed. Let's keep that trend going. I like that trend because that means that we're able to cover more people. We're able to keep people informed, and we're able to continue to do this. Okay, we would not be here if it was not for you guys. So let's keep that trend going. If you know anybody needs local radar updates, not just limited to just one city, statewide, send them our way. Okay. Don, I almost said that, but I didn't go through with it. But
the biggest thing is that we're not here for likes. We're not here. We're not here for follows. We're here for trusted weather information. Time and time again. And that trust has led to other stuff that we can't really bring up right now. But some big things are coming your way very, very soon here at Arkansas's trusted source for weather. Again, the biggest thing is that I know a lot of people also asking about the school thing or the Cameron Derek's weather class. We talked about it. That's going to go on the supporter hub. We don't do much on the supporter hub because we don't ask you to support us. You just do it. And so to give back to you for our supporters, we're going to start that class on there. As kind of a way to give back to y'all. Of course, we'll have more details on that when we find a quiet period.
Yeah, we'll find it. Quiet periods. And the Roku channel, by the way, not everybody was kind of asking about the Roku. It is going through some major upgrades at this point, okay? If you need graphic information, by the way, take a look at the page. All that information is going to be there. That's where you have the information here, but there's going to be more updates with that at this point. But let me get back to what I was saying about the Roku channel. There's going to be some major upgrades with the Roku channel. It's going to be completely different from what it was before, okay? It's going to have what you guys see now, live streaming. It's going to have all different new features on there. It's a lot of hard work that's going into it. That's the reason why it's taking so long. But right now, we do not have a Roku. We do not have a Amazon Fire TV for that particular reason. When it comes out, when it comes out, we promise you it's going to be a big update.
So what we need y'all to do,
you're going to like it, promise you.
What we need y'all to do is pray for about 2 to 3 weeks of quiet weather.
Please.
If we can get, 2 weeks. Because,
2 weeks.
I mean,
yeah.
Because, 2 weeks of quiet weather, rain showers are fine, no severe weather, no winter weather, and we can really get a kickstart on how that goes.
Yeah, but we promise you guys, once it comes out, I promise you, you're going to like it. But, see, someone said in Jonesboro they're right on the edge of the sleet and freezing rain, probably sleet, but the model doesn't show. What do you think? Gwen, this is the reason why we're telling you guys don't use models right now.
Yep.
Okay, and that's the reason why we don't have a future cast up. It kind of defeats the purpose of a future cast because future cast runs off of model guidance. And if model guidance ain't doing well, then you're up a creek without a paddle at this point. So it's what we call a nowcast situation. Basically, nowcast is what you're seeing right in front of your face. That is the current radar, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to have constant radar updates for you guys.
Yep.
And Lee, that's what you're looking at. You're looking at the current radar. This is exactly what you're looking at this point, okay? So keep that in mind. That's the reason why we don't have a future cast for you guys right now, because model guidance ain't doing nothing. It's completely off course of where it's going off right now here. So yes, we'll have all updates for everything. I know everyone's kind of asking about how much more of this, how much more of that. We will have those updates on the page, guys, but I promise you, a little bit of patience with us. Just a little bit of patience with us. Dustin, you made a great point, by the way. It's Arkansas weather. 2 weeks is that's funny. Yeah, I know. This was originally supposed to be a quiet period, and Arkansas decided to do Arkansas things. So the crazy roller coaster ride continues across the board here. It just continues to go up, down, like a roller coaster. Okay, that's what's going on here. But that's the problem. We're making that transition from winter to spring here, and unfortunately, once we get to the spring side, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Okay, if we were in spring right now, this would be a severe setup across the area. This would have been a severe weather event for us here in Arkansas. We got blessed that we ended up on the cold side, which in a way it's like a double-edged sword. We're dealing with freezing rain and sleet, but if temperatures were in the 70 and 80 right now, this would be a severe threat. Now this, as I said before, is concerning me for the next month and a half as we progress into spring here, because if we're this active for winter, how is spring going to turn out? And that's why we're going to have spring outlook for you guys next weekend, hopefully, if weather permits for us here. But that's my number one concern right now. If you're this active already, how is spring going to be for us here in Arkansas? Go ahead.
Again, we're going to let y'all go, and then of course we will have updates on the page.
Definitely.
The biggest thing is that right now, if you live in the winter storm warning area, let's go back to our alerts. Well, last time again, this is a current radar. The radar picture does not show the. I don't know why the algorithm on the radar is showing rain. That is not rain. That is sleet and freezing rain mix.
Yep.
But again, if you live in the winter storm warning areas, you're going to have up to 1 inch of ice in spots. A quarter to a half an inch is expected in the winter storm. This is in the pink area.
Yep.
Now.
By the way, these 3 counties, by the way, are under winter storm winter weather advisory. By the way, so keep that in mind.
Here's the thing: as upwards, the winter storm warning wording is this: you're going to have a half an inch up to an inch of ice is also possible with this event. Now, in southern Arkansas, where you see the purple, up to a quarter inch of ice. A quarter inch of ice can still cause power outages under the right conditions. Southwest Arkansas, up to 2/10 of an inch high, which is just below a quarter inch high. So basically, what we're expecting is ice.
Yep.
Ice, more ice. And unfortunately, with this event, this is a typical ice storm setup. Once
Leanne's
again,
got a good point, by the way.
would not be shocked to see this upgraded.
Yeah, Leanne's got a great point. So it appears the heaviest line is moving into my area. We're in the advisory area, and it's below freezing. Is it possible to get upgraded to a warning? If you start getting accumulations, I've seen this before too. If you start getting accumulations that surpass the advisory, they'll probably issue a warning. They'll probably go out and take a look at the accumulation. They'll probably upgrade to a warning. But the problem is, I've seen this happen before in winter weather advisories. This is why we tell you guys with the advisories, you gotta pay attention to them, because Leanne's comment is the prime example. You can get higher accumulations in the advisory area. You don't necessarily have to be under the winter storm warning to not get those higher end accumulations at this point. So she made a great comment. Okay, you can't ignore this because it's not pink. You can't ignore it because it's a lower end threat. It's just like severe weather. Marginal risk, we've seen tornado outbreaks happen in a marginal risk before. Similar to winter weather. I've seen a winter storm happen in a winter weather advisory before. Okay? So you gotta keep in mind, if you're under the advisory, you're under it for a reason. And that's the reason why you can see that potential here. And what?
Flooding risk.
Flooding risk
has been added to northeast and east central Arkansas. To go along with the winter storm, to go along with the ice storm, to go along with the sleet. So WPC has added a marginal risk of excessive rainfall. And keep in mind, some of this is falling as freezing rain. Freezing rain can still cause flooding because it's falling as rain, even though it's below freezing. Yeah, I know this is going to be really confusing to a lot of people over the next couple of days. Again, this is weather at its finest.
Is that day
what
one?
This is right now.
Is that today or is that tomorrow?
That is day one.
Day one?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to get that up there. Oh, boy. Anybody else tired of Arkansas weather already?
Yes.
This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts here. So this is what you're looking at. I just pulled it up, by the way. Okay? This is what we've got at this point. Okay, so you're seeing the winter storm warning, by the way. The winter storm warning, repeat that. The winter storm warning now has an area over here in northeast Arkansas for the potential of flooding over here. That is concerning. That means northeast Arkansas, all that moisture going into that sub-freezing air, that's going to lead to some significant ice accumulations up here in northeast Arkansas. So keep that in mind, okay? Not only we're dealing with the winter weather potential, but there's also flooding potential with this as well here. So this is crazy, folks. This puts almost last year to shame, where we were just dealing with snow and that was it. Now you're dealing with almost everything. Winter, severe, flooding. You're dealing with almost everything across the board here in Arkansas. So it's crazy. Arkansas can get crazy at times, and this is the one of the times that's going to get crazy across the board here. So I'm going to see about doing something real quick. And then we're going to hop off here and take a break, and then we're going to switch this over to Noah, because Noah, he's our backup, by the way. Whenever we're taking a break, he takes over. He takes a break, we take over, and stuff like that. So basically what you're looking at here, okay, so we've drawn this out to kind of give you guys a little bit of what's going on, okay? This pink line that you're seeing is considered for the potential of freezing rain. Yep. Look what's going on up here in northeast Arkansas.
Yep.
You see the overlap. That's what I'm worried about. That's Craighead, Mississippi, Poinsettia County, up here in northeastern Arkansas. That is what I'm worried about in this area. Okay? That's what I'm worried about the potential of seeing accumulating significant freezing rain up there in northeastern Arkansas. So that's something that we're going to have to watch closely. Yep. But I'm not liking that overlap with the freezing rain and the flooding potential. I'm not liking that at all. And that includes Interstate 40 as well here. So just another crazy day here in Arkansas. Another Arkansas day here across the board. It is nuts. It is absolutely nuts across the board here. So,
and again, we're going to keep you updated on all the latest information. We will have it updated. We will have this updated map posted on our page as well.
I may just post it just like this, to be honest with you. 'Cause there's some freezing rain potential, and then there's some flooding potential over there.
So once again, we do have multiple faceted events. The only thing we don't have, and again, just to answer your question, Brittany, sleet, ice, tornadoes is not meteorological possible. It's Arkansas. And anywho,
Lord, if that ever happened, that would be basically seeing everything.
Again, as long as the temperatures stay at 31 and 32, your main effect is gonna be on trees and power lines.
Yep.
However, heavy freezing rain, trees and power lines is just as bad. Again, it's currently coming in at 33 at the airport. It's coming in. We are sitting at 32 now at the weather center. This is actually the warmest we've been all day.
Yeah.
So these temperatures are going to be key as to who sees what over the next several hours. I'm kind of shocked that the temperatures have risen as much as they have.
It's going to come back, by the way.
But once again,
this thing is tired, by the way. Our weather system is just tired. This thing's been running. You got to remember, we've had a severe threat, a winter weather threat, so this thing is about as exhausted as it's going to get. So just bear with it. They'll come back up on the screen here in just a bit, but we're fixing to head off here, guys. But kind of going over everything here. I'm going to turn this off and we go back over to our outlook here, guys. So bear with me for just a bit. I'm going to get that information up for you guys. But this is what we're looking at here. Okay, so total freezing rain accumulation. This is going to get updated, by the way. This is 7 o'clock this morning. I'm going to take this back. We're going to go back over to our winter preset map because this is perfect. This is literally perfect, okay? Freezing rain, the majority from much of northeastern down in the central in the southwestern Arkansas. Some sleet will be possible within this area. Freezing rain and sleet northwestern and north central Arkansas, and then the green area down there in far southeastern Arkansas. Cold rain, but it's still questionable that you may see some freezing rain at times down there. Northwest Arkansas, freezing rain / sleet to some light snow at the very end, but it's still debatable on the snow. I think the snow may miss us for us here in Arkansas. And some folks have seen some light snow here and there, but I don't think you're going to have a snow event with this one, folks. Okay. And also, the key note right here in the middle, in that red area, thunder, freezing rain, and thunder sleet will be possible throughout the overnight hours tonight.
Yep.
It is going to get loud. It is going to be a show for us here in Arkansas during the overnight hours. Go ahead.
And that could lead to the possibility of significant icing in areas where temperatures are at or below freezing.
Yep.
Again, even though 31, 32, we say the road should be mostly wet, but you will still have icy spots, especially on bridges and overpasses. And then, of course, below 30 is where the roads start getting really, really bad, which is what we've seen north of I-40.
Yeah, and the problem I have right now, normally in that situation that would be the case. The problem is we've been below freezing for the past 12 hours. So even though we're at freezing now, your road temperatures, it's been 26, 27, 28 degrees all day long here in the metro in most areas. So even if you do warm up to freezing, you're going to have problems on the roadways because of how cold it's been over the last couple of hours. Okay, so at 32 degrees, you're going to have freezing rain. 32 degrees, you're going to have the potential of seeing those road issues, the power outages, etc., folks. So we'll keep you guys informed. I think that's all we got for you guys. You guys got anything different
there's
here?
Something, just to throw this out there, the 2009 ice storm, according to Ryan Bond, did not have lightning with it. So, just throwing that out there.
That's crazy.
So it's something we're going to have to watch as we go throughout the overnight hours. If this does increase, then we could see an increase as well in that potential of significant icing as we go forward.
Trying to see where that special weather statement's at, by the way. Because there's a special weather statement. It's not for here. Okay, it's not for here. Never mind. But I just got to shuffle back up here, folks. But that's basically that. We've gone over everything. I mean, literally everything, folks. This is why we're saying, folks, you got to know where you live. You got to know where you are because all our graphics are county and city based. Okay. We could sit here for 24 hours telling you the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, but at the same time, you got to meet us halfway. We're going to have all the information coming up, Christy. Folks, you got to be patient with us too, okay? Our entire team is working our behinds off right now, trying to get updates out, etc. If you're a little delayed, it'll be okay, but it's going to be the same message we've been preaching for the last 3 to 4 days. Freezing rain, sleet will be possible for the majority of the area, okay? Be prepared for the potential power outages. Don't plan on traveling, okay? I know there's going to be somebody out there that's going to be stubborn. Don't travel, okay? Do not travel tonight. They are urging, and this has gotten to the point that even the governor of Arkansas is telling you not to travel, okay? Do not travel across the natural state tonight, unless, and even in South Arkansas, you got to be careful down there too, because with you hanging around 32, 33 degrees, that's danger zone down there in South Arkansas, okay? So you can stay home. There's nothing wrong with staying home, folks. Okay. Please be careful if you got to travel tonight. And if you're an essential worker, you definitely got to get out. Please be very careful. Please be very careful, guys. Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely we're gonna have all that information for you guys across the board here. But that's what do you got there?
We will keep you updated with the latest information. I see a lot of folks are wanting to donate or support us. We do have a store, actually, that you can buy official gear.
Eden, if you're in this live stream, tag that, by the way.
We do have official gear that you can buy, and that's another way you can support us through that as well. Just a couple of different ways. We don't like doing the GoFundMe thing, just because we're not going to ask you for money ever. We never would. And that's something, we believe weather should always be free, and that's the way it's going to be. We have a support hub, and we have that store. If you want to support us, again, we don't ask for it. But again, through your support, we are able to do things like upgrade a Roku channel, upgrade and basically come to your TV before severe weather season starts.
Yep.
That's something you've done for us as supporters. This radar you see on your screen, through your support, we are able to provide this. We paid for this for years with our own money.
Yep.
And a lot of stuff we still do because we don't mind doing it because our goal is to keep you safe. Is to keep Arkansas safe.
That
is our goal.
It's an addition, by the way.
And that's what we will always do. And the link has been posted.
Okay. All right, she got it. Cool.
So once again, just stay with us. We'll keep you updated.
Definitely, guys.
Again, we do this for free. We don't take a dime of your money. I don't know why I'm throwing this out there. Y'all know it already.
Yeah, we don't do that, folks.
But once again, we thank you for joining us, trusting us. We're going to be with you all night long, all day tomorrow. Keeping my fingers crossed that my job decides to keep us closed tomorrow. Right now, they said it's a wait and see.
Your boy's got you if he's not here, by the way. So don't keep him out.
But once again, we're going to stay with y'all. And stay with us. And if the power goes out, we have phones. We'll update that way. Again, we have ways to do it.
We have another weather center, by the way. Down there, we're set up across the state. We're not limited to just one area. We got multiple backup plans, and not only for winter weather, severe weather too. Because let's say there's tornado warning where we're at, and another one of our other forecasters, he's perfectly okay. If we go down, we go to the next. If he goes down, we go to the next. Okay.
Make sure you have your winter storm essentials, by the way.
Those are mine, by the way, sir. Mine. Thank you very much. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, if you're talking about winter storm essentials, this too. You're covering this too. You're gonna need that because this is gonna be crazy. But definitely, folks, that's all we got at this point. If you need that, guys, the link is in the live stream. Thank you, Ed, for tagging that, by the way. But yeah, and that's what we're saying before. And Mandy, I know we've had a lot of questions about the phone app potential. Now, here's the problem I have with the phone app potential with that. Okay, it's an event like this. It's an event like this because when you're dealing with a phone app, you're dealing with trying to have 7-day forecast or something like that out. Okay, we are working on that. We are trying to develop that. We're trying to get that ball rolling. But the problem is there's a lot of algorithms that go with it. And there's a lot of things, especially like this, because you see a weather app, and the weather app says 40 degrees, and we're sitting at 32. That's a big problem, right?
Yep.
So that's the biggest issue we're having right now with that. But we'll get that. If anything happens with that app, it'll probably be from our website converted into a mobile app. Basically, that's what's going to happen.
And our goal is to hopefully eventually be able to do live streams on the app.
Yeah, that too.
So again, we're getting there. There's a lot of plans coming forward. We got to have a break in Arkansas weather to do it.
Yeah, definitely. This active stuff is.
Again, we also work full-time jobs. So with that being said, it's kind of hard to do all this stuff and still do.
But we have an entire team, though. We have an entire team that's there.
But we have an entire team. We have a good team.
We appreciate y'all, by the way, too.
Unless warranted, we may or may not be going live again tonight.
Not tonight. It
depends.
It depends. I'm gonna wait and see because I'm gonna see how it looks at about 10 o'clock. We'll kind of wait and see how everything verifies with that. Keep you guys informed on that. But if I start seeing something major, if anything, I'll probably take it or something like that. But definitely first thing in the morning.
Yep.
Definitely first thing in the morning. If we don't do a live stream tonight, it's going to at least be a video update. That way you guys have a little bit of a visual of what's going on. So we're going to go back to our radar to kind of close this out. Thank you all for being here. Thank you guys for all the likes and stuff like that. And as Derek said before, we're not here for just the likes either, okay? The reason why we like those likes going up so much because that is us being able to cover more people. That's us being able to cover more and more and more and more. That way more folks are getting updates, more folks are staying aware. This event is a prime example of why we like covering. Okay, we enjoy it. Okay, it can be chaotic at times, but we enjoy it. Okay, there's not a single day that goes by that we don't think about the page, we don't think about anything else like that, guys. So we really do appreciate it here. But yeah, I would show y'all future casts. I would love to, but it's not doing a good job at all. It is not doing a good job at all. And that happens whenever you're dealing with guidance. Most cases you don't have that. Most cases that happens where model guidance is just completely useless at this point. This is why radar is so important. That's why ground reports is so important. And that's when we're about down here in Southeast Arkansas. I can definitely see that flooding threat going on down there at this point here. But that's all I got at this point, Derek. If you want to add anything else to this.
Again, the biggest thing is just be careful out there.
Please be careful, folks.
Just be careful out there. Again, if you see rain, check your thermometer. If it's 32 or below, guess what? It's freezing rain. Freezing rain freezes on contact, freezes to everything. Below 30, that's when your roads will have the biggest issues. Bridge and overpasses, no matter what, will have issues. And bear with RDOT, bear with our road workers. They're going to be all night long keeping these roads the best prepared as they can. Ice is a whole other animal, and again, unless you're essential, stay home, be safe, and we'll get through it all at once. And we will keep you updated right here on your source for all things Arkansas weather.